Sometimes life has to break you open to show you what you're truly made of. You see, we spend so much of our lives trying to hold everything together. Our plans, our relationships, our dreams. As if our worth depends on how well we can keep things from falling apart. But when life suddenly shifts, when the ground beneath your feet gives way, and everything you once counted on disappears, that's when your true strength begins to whisper. It's in those quiet, lonely nights, when tears won't stop falling, that you begin to see who you really are beneath the layers of expectation. The pain feels unbearable. The loss feels endless. And you start to believe that maybe this is the end of your story. But what if I told you that the moment your heart broke was the same moment your rebirth began? Because sometimes it's only when we lose everything that we finally start to find ourselves again. Crescent moon, when something inside you shatters, it doesn't mean you are broken beyond repair. It means you've outgrown an old version of yourself. The universe has a mysterious way of taking away what no longer serves your soul, even when you don't understand it. Maybe it's a dream that didn't work out, a relationship that slipped away, or a version of yourself you had to let go of. Every piece that falls apart is guiding you towards something truer, something purer. You see, strength isn't found in how well you avoid pain, but in how courageously you allow it to shape you. Don't be afraid of the cracks. They are proof that your heart has lived deeply and loved fearlessly. The most beautiful souls I've met aren't the ones who have never been broken. They're the ones who learned to build themselves from the fragments. Tulip, when life breaks you, it doesn't ask for your permission. It just happens. One day, everything feels fine, and the next, you're standing in the ruins of the life you once knew. But in those ruins, there's also a strange kind of silence. A silence that invites you to listen, to breathe, to begin again. Most people fear the silence after heartbreak because it feels empty, but that emptiness is sacred. It's the pause between who you were and who you're meant to become. So instead of running from the stillness, sit in it. Allow it to teach you what words never could. Allow it to show you that healing isn't a race, it's a surrender. The more you fight it, the longer it hurts. The more you accept it, the lighter it becomes. In every heartbreak, there's a hidden message. You are being refined. Think of gold. It must go through fire before it shines. Think of a seed. It must break before it grows. You, too, are being refined through your pain. You are being shaped into someone stronger, someone wiser, someone softer in all the right places. Don't let your pain define you. Let it redesign you. You might not see it now, but one day you'll look back and realize that the things that broke you were the very things that built you. You'll thank the storm because it showed you that you could survive without the shelter you thought you needed. You'll thank the heartbreak because it revealed a love within yourself that no one could ever take away. Son, there's a kind of beauty that only broken hearts understand. The beauty of compassion, of empathy, of depth. When you've been through pain, you see the world differently. You stop judging others so quickly because you know how heavy invisible battles can be. You start to appreciate small things. The sunrise, a kind word, the sound of laughter, because you know how easily they can disappear. Your heart, once broken, becomes more tender, more open, more human. So don't be ashamed of your scars. Scars are not signs of weakness. They're the proof that you healed. Every time your heart broke, it was expanding to hold more love, more understanding, more courage than before. Cherry Blossom, when I speak about brokenness, I speak from a place of truth. I know what it feels like to have your dreams crushed, to wake up wondering if you'll ever feel whole again. But I also know this. Your heart has an incredible ability to heal itself if you just let it. Stop trying to glue back the old pieces. Instead, create something new from what remains. Life is not asking you to go back to who you were before the heartbreak. It's asking you to evolve into someone even more beautiful. The version of you that will rise after the pain will carry wisdom that only experience can teach. And when you finally rise, you'll realize that being broken was never your weakness. It was your awakening. Blossom, the most powerful transformation, often begins with a moment of complete collapse. When your world falls apart, you are given a sacred invitation to rebuild it differently. That's why heartbreaks are not endings, they are turning points. They strip away the illusions, the masks, and the false hopes, leaving you face to face with your truest self. And in that raw, vulnerable space, you begin to rebuild your foundation not on fear or dependency, but on authenticity and self-worth. You start to realize that healing isn't about finding someone else to fill the void, it's about learning to love the parts of you that were never loved enough. Dizzy, there will be days when you'll want to give up, days when the pain feels unbearable, and days when you question whether you'll ever smile genuinely again. But in those moments, remind yourself, even the darkest night ends with a sunrise. You may not see it now, but something inside you is quietly transforming. Every tear you shed is watering the soil of your rebirth. Every ache is teaching your heart to grow stronger roots. Healing isn't loud or dramatic. It's gentle, it's patient, and it happens in the moments you least expect. So trust the process, even when it doesn't make sense. The universe has not abandoned you. It's preparing you for something you can't yet see. Rainbow, when life breaks you, it's not punishing you. It's positioning you. Every ending you faced is simply redirecting you toward a greater purpose. The love that left you made room for self-love to enter. The dreams that crumbled made space for bigger dreams to rise. The people who walked away were never meant to stay for your next chapter. So instead of asking, "Why did this happen to me?" ask, "What is this trying to teach me?" That simple shift in perspective turns pain into power, because your heartbreak is not your story. It's the beginning of your strength story. Sparkling heart, and if your heart still feels heavy, if your soul still aches, remember this: you are not alone in your brokenness. Every beautiful soul walking this earth has felt pain, has lost something, has been torn apart in ways they never spoke of. But they survived, and so will you. You are still here because your story isn't over. You are still breathing because your purpose is still unfolding. The pieces of your heart will not remain scattered forever. They are waiting to be rearranged into something breathtakingly new. Every broken heart has a rhythm, and one day yours will beat again. Not in pain, but in peace. Sunflower pain has a way of entering our lives uninvited, unexpected, and often unwanted. It doesn't knock on the door and ask, "Are you ready?" It just arrives, sometimes through the loss of someone you love, the collapse of a dream, or the betrayal you never saw coming. It shakes your entire being and makes you question your worth, your choices, even your purpose. But the truth is, pain is not your enemy, it's your greatest teacher. It arrives not to destroy you, but to awaken something dormant within you. It challenges your comfort zone, tests your patience, and stretches your heart in ways you never imagined. Pain whispers truths that joy often hides. It asks you to pause, to feel, to confront what you've been avoiding. And though it burns, it also refines you into someone wiser, softer, and infinitely stronger. Cloud, when pain knocks the wind out of you, your first instinct is to resist it. To run, to numb, to pretend everything is fine. But the more you fight it, the louder it screams for attention. Pain doesn't disappear just because you ignore it. It waits patiently until you're brave enough to face it. The moment you stop running from it is the moment healing begins. Sit with your pain. Ask it what it's trying to teach you. Because behind every ache lies a message that could transform your entire life. Sometimes pain teaches you boundaries. Sometimes it teaches you to let go. Sometimes it simply teaches you how to love yourself better. But you can only hear its wisdom when you stop labeling it as punishment and start seeing it as purpose. Crescent moon, we often think strength means being unaffected, smiling through the storm, pretending nothing hurts. But real strength is allowing yourself to break without losing faith in your ability to rebuild. It's crying when you need to, screaming if you must, but never giving up on the belief that something good can still come out of the pain. You see, it's okay to not be okay. It's okay to fall apart for a while. What's not okay is believing that your pain defines you. You are not your heartbreak. You are not your trauma. You are not your loss. You are the courage it takes to rise again after everything has fallen apart. That courage, that quiet, trembling strength, is what makes you truly unbreakable. Dizzy pain comes disguised as loss, but in truth, it's an opportunity for growth. Every person who hurt you, every disappointment that left you shattered, is shaping you into a version of yourself you've never met before. Think about it. If life always went according to plan, you'd never learn patience, compassion, or resilience. It's through pain that you learn who really stands by your side, who truly values you, and what actually matters. Pain strips away the illusions and reveals what's real. It exposes the people who were temporary and highlights the strength you never knew you had. So the next time your heart aches, remind yourself, it's not breaking you, it's building you. Tulip, there's a reason pain feels personal. It meets you exactly where you need transformation. When it enters your life, it points to the wounds you've ignored, the patterns you've repeated, and the fears you've refused to face. It shines a light on the parts of you that crave healing. That's why no two people experience pain the same way. It speaks a unique language to every soul. It might tell you to slow down, to stop chasing validation, to start valuing yourself more deeply. And while it might seem cruel in the moment, later you'll realize that every painful chapter was a lesson written in invisible ink. You couldn't see it then, but it was preparing you for the wisdom you carry now. We live in a world that glorifies happiness but hides pain, as if sorrow is something to be ashamed of. But there is dignity in suffering too. There's beauty in the way you continue to show up, even when your heart feels heavy. There's grace in the way you hold yourself together when everything inside you is falling apart. The world might not applaud you for surviving silently, but your soul does. Every tear you've cried watered the garden of your strength. Every sleepless night shaped a softer heart. Every moment of pain became a sacred lesson that no book could teach. And that's the quiet power of endurance, the kind that doesn't need validation, only faith. Cherry blossom, sometimes pain teaches you that endings are just disguised beginnings. You lose a relationship and discover self-love. You lose a job and uncover your true calling. You lose what you thought you couldn't live without, only to realize that you've been alive all along. Life has this divine rhythm of breaking you open just enough to make room for more light. When something leaves your life, it creates space for something greater to enter. So, instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" try whispering, "What is this preparing me for?" Because one day, when you connect the dots, you'll see that every painful experience was guiding you home, to yourself. Son, there will be days when pain feels like an endless tunnel, where you can't see the light no matter how hard you try. But even in that darkness, something magical is happening. You are evolving. You are learning to depend on your inner strength instead of external validation. You are realizing that peace doesn't come from the absence of pain, but from the acceptance of it. Pain teaches you to find calm in chaos, to breathe even when it hurts, to keep walking even when your legs tremble. The darkness you fear is not a void, it's a womb. It's where new beginnings are born quietly, patiently, beautifully. Full moon, when you start viewing pain as a teacher, everything changes. You stop being a victim of your circumstances and become a student of your own life. You begin to see lessons in rejection, gratitude in loss, and power in vulnerability. You realize that healing isn't about forgetting what happened. It's about forgiving yourself for how deeply you felt it. You stop chasing closure from others and start finding it within. Pain doesn't go away overnight, but it does evolve. It transforms from something that breaks you to something that builds you. It becomes your compass, guiding you toward purpose, passion, and peace. Sunflower, and eventually, there comes a day when you'll look back and see how far you've come. The pain that once felt unbearable will feel like a distant memory, a chapter that shaped the strength you now carry with grace. You'll smile, not because it didn't hurt, but because you survived. You'll thank the pain for the lessons it taught, the growth it inspired, and the resilience it birthed. You'll realize that pain was never your punishment. It was your preparation. Every tear, every scar, every sleepless night had meaning. Because without pain, you would have never discovered your power. Rainbow, there comes a moment in every broken heart's journey when you realize that the healing you seek will never come from the same place that hurt you. You spend days, weeks, sometimes years waiting for someone to return, to apologize, to fix what they shattered, but they don't. And slowly, painfully, you begin to understand that the closure you're waiting for must come from within. Love isn't about holding on when everything inside you is begging to let go. Love is about releasing what no longer helps you grow. Letting go isn't a sign of weakness, it's an act of strength, of self-respect, of deep understanding that your peace is worth more than your pain. You begin to see that the person who left was never meant to stay forever. They were only meant to teach you something your soul needed to learn. When you stop chasing what's gone, you make room for what's meant for you. So many hearts stay trapped in yesterday, replaying what ifs and maybes, trying to rewrite stories that have already ended. But peace only comes when you stop asking why it happened and start trusting that it happened for your highest good. You cannot build a new life while clinging to old wounds. Healing asks you to unclench your fist, to stop gripping what's already fallen apart, and to trust that empty hands can still hold joy again. You are not losing someone, you are reclaiming yourself. Every time you choose yourself over the pain that left you, you rewrite your story from survival to strength. Dizzy love will come again, but it will come when you no longer need it to fill the emptiness inside you. It will come when you've learned to sit with your own company and find comfort in your own silence. It will come when your happiness no longer depends on anyone's presence or approval. Because true love doesn't come to rescue you, it comes to walk beside you. It meets you when you already know your worth, when your heart beats in rhythm with peace, not desperation. The kind of love you dream of will never find you in the chaos of clinging. It finds you in the calm of letting go. And sometimes, the greatest love story of your life is the one you create with yourself. Cherry blossom forgiveness is the bridge between your pain and your peace. Not because the person who hurt you deserves it, but because you do. You deserve to wake up without the weight of resentment pressing against your chest. You deserve to breathe without the ache of what could have been. Forgiveness doesn't mean forgetting. It means choosing freedom over fury. It's looking at the wound and saying, "You no longer control me." The moment you release that anger, you make space for peace to move in. And peace, once it arrives, feels like sunlight after a storm. Quiet, steady, and healing in ways words cannot describe. Son, there's something sacred about learning to love yourself after heartbreak. You begin to realize that self-love isn't about mirrors and mantras. It's about showing up for yourself every single day. It's about being gentle when you make mistakes, patient when you stumble, and kind when you fall short. It's about not waiting for someone else to see your worth before you recognize it yourself. When you start treating yourself with the same love you once begged others for, something shifts. You stop settling for half-hearted affection. You stop begging for attention, and you stop believing that you're too hard to love. You become whole on your own. Tulip letting go doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you stop carrying what was never yours to hold. You can still wish someone well while walking away. You can still cherish the memories without reopening the wound. Love doesn't always mean holding on tightly. Sometimes it means releasing with gratitude. Every goodbye carves space in your soul for something new to bloom. The universe doesn't take away without reason. It clears your path for alignment. So when you let go, don't see it as losing. See it as creating space for peace to enter. You're not abandoning love. You're making room for the right kind of love to find you. Sunflower healing is not about forgetting the past. It's about learning to look back without losing yourself in it. You'll reach a point when you can revisit old memories and feel gratitude instead of grief. That's when you know you've healed, not when you stop remembering, but when remembering no longer hurts. Healing is circular, not linear. You'll have days when it still stings and days when it doesn't. Both are part of your journey. Be patient with yourself. Flowers don't bloom by forcing the petals open. They unfold when the time is right. So will your heart. Blossom. There's beauty in solitude when you finally learn that being alone doesn't mean being lonely. It means being free. It means dancing to your own rhythm, building your dreams, and finding joy in the simple moments. It means realizing that you don't have to wait for someone else to make your life beautiful. You can do that yourself. When you stop needing others to complete you, the universe sends people who complement you. They don't arrive to heal your wounds. They arrive because you've already done the healing. And that's the love that lasts, the love built on wholeness, not on need. Crescent moon, your heart is not fragile. It's a masterpiece of resilience. Every time it breaks, it rebuilds itself stronger, wiser, softer. You've survived every heartbreak you thought you couldn't, and each one has shaped you into the person you are today. The cracks in your heart are not flaws, they're windows for light to enter. You carry inside you a love that is infinite, one that doesn't depend on anyone's presence to exist. The world needs that love, the love that comes from a healed, open, brave heart. And that kind of love begins when you finally look in the mirror and say, "I am enough." Red, when you finally stop chasing what's gone, life begins to surprise you in the most beautiful ways. New people, new experiences, new joys start entering your world quietly, like morning light seeping through curtains. You begin to realize that letting go wasn't about loss. It was about making space for something greater. You discover that your heart, once heavy with sorrow, can still feel joy again. And in that moment, you understand that love was never something you had to search for. It was always inside you, waiting for you to come home to yourself. Rainbow.